it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for hitting play. Today is Subtle Sunday, so I'm using the Subtles collection, and this is today's project. This is using the Climbing Orchid stamp set, and what I have created is a variation, I suppose, on the Thanks on Thursday little pouch that I made. If you remember, this was what I made on Thursday, and this is a slight variation, but obviously bigger, and it's a little gift card holder, so you could use it as a birthday present or something like that. So let me show you how it's made. It is reasonably straightforward. All the measurements, as ever, will be on the blog post, which I will link below. So this project was a gift bag punch board project, and so is the one we're going to make today. I'm starting with a piece of just ordinary Whisper White cardstock. You could use designer series paper, but because this is Subtle Sunday, I'm not, because none of the papers are just subtles. So this is 8 7/8 by 7 1/4 inches, which is 22.5 by 18.5. Hope you're impressed that I've actually remembered that. And what we're going to do is line up the right hand of the long edge, line up the right hand side to the mark here, which says side 2. And we're going to punch. Now, the gift bag is really made for designer series paper, so it will go through, but it is a little tougher, but it is only the ordinary Whisper White, so yeah. And then I'm just scoring across the horizontal, and then when I get the notch to, it doesn't really matter which of these, but I've got this on side 2, I'm just going to score that down. And then I'm going to continue scoring across the top until I have got all of it scored. And then, whoops, I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to line up with, let me get this right, with the small, where the, sure that's right, let me just check. Yes, that's right. Right, so now what's now the right hand side, what was the left hand side, is now lined up with the small mark, and again I'm going to punch, and then just so that my scores are all going the right way, flip it over again, and again just line it up with one of these and score down. So that is everything I need the gift bag punch board with. Now you could do this on the scoreboard, but this is a punch board project. So that kind of defeats the object of the exercise. I did work out the measurements for the project earlier in the week. It's a standard card base size, so I'm sure you can work it out. But I don't intend to work those out because it is a punch board project. So I have just folded and burnished those horizontal score lines, and then I'm just going to cut the 2 side flaps off at a very slight angle, just so that it's easier to keep everything neat at the bottom. And get rid of those, and then just fold that up. And then I just want to bring in some scrap paper, because I need to do some stamping off. Right, so for the front, because we might as well make the bag first, I am going to use, now bear in mind that these images are shown at 70%. There is a matching framelit set, which I do have, but I wanted this to be a flat project because it's a slide. I thought it would be nice to not always use the framelets. So I'm using these 3 images here, which are full orchids. There's another one here that's a full orchid, and then the 2 larger of the 2 larger leaves. And enjoy today. And it is Subtle Sunday, so we are using subtle coloured inks. So the first thing that I'm going to bring out, whoops, is my So Saffron. And I'm going to basically be doing the same colourway as before, but I'm changing it up a wee bit. So I'm going to ink up my larger lined orchid, or the large lined orchid I should say, stamp off, and then in the middle-ish of my piece of card, I'm just going to stamp that down. So it's very faint, and I intend it to be very faint. Close that up, and then I'm going to bring in my 2 leaves and wild wasabi, which I don't use that often, but it's actually quite a nice, slightly bluer colour than the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to again stamp that off, and then pop. See, when I started filming this, the sun was out, so I didn't put my light on. I'm going to need my light. There we go. So that's one. Then I'm going to bring in the small leaf and just pop that in here. And then again up at the top. So that's the leaves. I don't need those anymore. And I don't need my wild wasabi anymore, I don't think. Right, so now I'm bringing in the Enjoy the Day. No, Enjoy Today, sorry. Can't get the staff, can you? Right, so just ink up, this is Calypso Coral, and then right across the middle, I'm just going to line that up so that it's hopefully straight-ish, and stamp down, and there we go. Don't need that anymore. Do need the ink, but not the stamp. So that is all of the stamping for that. I'm just going to bring in some snail and run that down the side of the flaps are not quite the same size, so I'm going to run it down the smaller of the 2 flaps. Just pop that down and fold it over. I hope I've managed to get that just about so that it doesn't stick. Yep. And then I was just slightly concerned that because you guys are in the way, as ever, I wasn't sure that I'd got the snail quite in the right place. So that's the basic envelope, but to make it easier to pull the card out, I'm going to take my 3/4 inch punch, line that up in the middle-ish, and now on this side we are going through 3 layers, so it is a bit, you have to have a go at it and you end up with a flying piece, but then at least it's easier to pull your card out. So that's the basic. Now let's bring in the other bits. So I have got my usual first layer mat and stamping mat size. So what have we got? 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, which is 14 1/4 by 9 3/4, and then 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, which is 14 by 9 1/2, and then a piece of So Saffron. This is Calypso Coral. This is a piece of So Saffron, which is basically cut from one of the my standard first mats. So it's 3 7/8 wide, so 9 1/2 centimetres, and then 1 3/4 inches or 4 1/2 centimetres deep. This I am going to cut. Let me bring this back in. You'll see that here we've got this dip. Maybe easier to see if I take that out. We've got this dip in, and that I have made very easily by bringing in the classic label punch, and then you just line up so that you've got the 2 points lined up with the edge of the card, and so that it is by eye in the middle, and then punch. So you've just got that little piece that you've taken out, but then you've got your nice little wedge, and it's a really pretty shape. So stamping for the card on the inside, I need one of my blocks that I've got to clean off. Bear with me, clean the stamp so that I don't end up with ink all over me. because I need to use this block again. Right, so that's the larger of the two spotty orchids, and this is the smaller of the two spotty orchids. Now, last time with the original, I did this in Calypso Coral and this in So Saffron. Just to change it up a bit, I will do it the other way around. And what I've done is I'm doing full strength at the top and I'm fading down. So the first one at full strength, but as ever, I don't like stamping in the middle. So if I were to stamp that again, I get this still at full strength. So you do need to re-ink and stamp off to do your second impression. And I'll pop that one there. And then this one I'm going to do twice and just pop it. It's probably going to need to be about there. Most of that will get covered up, but it just does leave a little bit of something. And then Calypso Coral. So again, full strength up at the top. And because I've stamped that in full, as it were, I could just re-ink this, I could just stamp it, but in order to make sure that I get a proper just quick stamp off shade, I shall re-ink it and stamp it off. And again, in order to just fill in there. Lovely. Okay, so now all we need to do is put the whole thing together. So I'm going to need some Terran tape. Then to stick this onto here, I'm just going to use my ever faithful Tombow. And pop that down. And as ever, because I've got that wet adhesive, I can move it round so that I'm comfortable with where it is. And then, what am I doing? I'm sticking this on. If I had a brain, I really would be dangerous. You can tell it's Sunday. Not that it is Sunday, of course, because I'm not recording this at something daft o'clock on a Sunday morning. I like my bed too much, particularly on a Sunday. So just pop this all the way around the unpunched edges of your piece of So Saffron, or whatever colour you're happening to use, and then take the backing off. See, it comes off really easily when you guys aren't watching me. Maybe I should just not record videos. That was a thought, of course. On the subject of which, if you do enjoy this, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, do hit the subscribe button, which is down there. So let's borrow the same, in inverted commas, gift bag. It's just a gift card. It's just something that I was sent in the post. And then this pops in there, and there we go. So there you are. That's really quite quick and easy project. There's just one thing I just want to check. And as if by magic, you can fit it in one of our standard C4 envelopes. So you can actually send it as a card. I have to say, that is by mistake. Well, not by mistake, it's an unplanned bonus. I had not intended for that to be the case, but hey, I'll take it. So, let's bring in our original. So that's the original, which is pretty much the same, and then the inside. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed it, and it gives you a few ideas of how to dress up a bit of a gift card, because they can be a bit dull, really. So, as I say, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to hit more, hit subscribe. I'm sure you're going to want to buy some of these things, so please jump over to my online store. That would be great. Links below. Best deal, obviously, is the starter kit. £130 worth of products for £99 membership fee, and then you get a discount and everything else. Because we're now in August, if you wanted to put some of our new autumn winter catalogue items, which you can't actually get at the moment apart from the Carols of Christmas early release, but if you were interested in getting some of the new Christmas and autumn products, you can put those into your starter kit, but you would need to contact me so that you can get details of the catalogue. So that's it. Have a lovely Sunday, and I will see you again very soon.